Welcome to Living in Grand Rapids, the podcast, episode 3. We are so excited today to talk staging. We've got Natalie Kaman with At Home Design and Staging. And Natalie and I have been working together for the past year and a half or so.
Yeah.
We've done some incredible things. And, honestly, over the years, I have really fallen in love with helping sellers prep their home through staging. And we've just seen such a difference. And it's been just awesome to see like what you do and watch the interior design process and see how homes are transformed. But before we get into that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you fell in love with it? Just get right into it.
Yeah, so my business is about 8 years old, the staging side of it. But before that, I was doing interior design for houses. And how I got into it was my husband was doing real estate investment and he was flipping houses. And so they brought me in to do all the paint selections, the plumbing fixtures, the lighting fixtures. And so we were kind of taking these houses and just redoing every surface of the home, basically from flooring to paint to lighting. But as we got into some higher priced homes, houses over in East Grand Rapids or big properties in Rockford, by the time we were done, even though these houses looked brand new and completely updated, if they weren't furnished, they just felt very cold. So my husband said, we got to get a stager in here. And at the time, the realtor we were using did not know a stager in Grand Rapids. I just thought this is probably something that I could add to my services at this point, and I can start to stage these houses. So it started by staging those vacant homes that were flip properties or investment properties. And they just couldn't believe the impact that it had on the houses, how much quicker they were selling, how much higher price they were selling once we staged them. And so after that, I started to offer my services, not just to my husband's company, but to other realtors, and so that they could let their clients know about staging vacant properties. And yeah, so we've been doing that part of it for 8 years now.
That is awesome. I think we know some of the same people. We were just talking about it, some of the investors in town. We'll give Lindsay Scully a shout out, Jeremy Scully. I love those guys. But what I've seen is just the impact you can make on a seller, especially sellers that really don't know how to prep their home for sale. I mean, they're coming to us as real estate professionals for guidance on, okay, help me get my house ready. Absolutely. And it used to be where I would try and do this all myself, and I would spend an hour and a half walking through a home, and I felt like I was pretty good. But then I met you and understood that, this is your strength, not mine. And I just want to talk about the impact that pre-listing staging consultation can have on people, because I've seen that just give them a roadmap to transform their house. Talk to me about the importance of that.
Absolutely. So you kind of hit the nail on the head. People don't know what to do when preparing their house for sale oftentimes. I hear clients say, well, we know we got to get the garage cleaned out. And I'm thinking, well, your house is full of toys when you walk in and nobody's going to photograph the garage. So let's focus on what's most important to buyers. In preparing a house for sale, when I go in to do an occupied home staging consult, I'm going in and I'm talking to the homeowners about the 5 Ds of staging, it was what I call it. And then I'm taking my iPad around and I'm typing up a report for them on anything that we recommend that they add, remove, or change that's going to really impact how buyers see that home and how they feel when they enter the home. And so we always start with the exterior because the exterior is most important. That's what's going to come up on their listing. That's what people are going to see in order to even decide if they want to click and see what's inside the house. After that, it's typically entry, and then we start hitting those main areas of the house like living room, kitchen, master bedrooms, owners' bathrooms. But so what I do is I give them that list in prioritized order so they know what's most important to focus on. And it really does help them. By the time I leave, they have that roadmap in hand. And it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I love it because, again, going back to like me trying to do this on my own, I mean, to see what you do, and I sell this to my clients. I say, listen, you're going to be provided this 3, 4, 5-page document that you can literally work through over the next couple weeks, room by room, page by page. Even put a nice little Pinterest board in there.
Yep.
Talk about that a little bit because, again, we can move into how important colors are in influencing buyers. But I love that you throw that Pinterest board, which often includes colors. But talk to me about the importance of colors in pulling buyers' emotions in.
So I do use a Pinterest board when I'm recommending if there's anything that I want clients to do. Like if they need to change a light fixture, or if they even need to use a different style of light bulbs for their house, I try to add it to a Pinterest board, which they can then refer back to, and they can click on that Pinterest board, which has a link that they can go to a store that will be able to purchase it. Usually it's something that will then ship to their home. But as far as color in the houses, as we can see over the past years, everything's gone much lighter and much brighter. And what's great about that is those light, bright colors are really good for the photography.
Yeah.
And we know right now that most buyers are looking for those houses online. So they're not seeing these houses in person firsthand. Usually they're seeing them online. So if we use lighter, brighter colors in a space, it's going to help those online photos to look larger, more expansive, more welcoming. And then the natural light can be more reflective in the spaces. So that's kind of what we even call Pinterest worthy photography, is having those lighter, brighter spaces. And also it helps when a potential home buyer comes in, if there's a lot of red or dark colors, or colors that they don't already have for existing furniture that they feel would work with, the first thing they're starting to do is make a checklist of, once I move in, we're going to have to paint this, we're going to do that. So what we love is to have a property that could be considered move-in ready, where if it's neutral, somewhat neutral, then a buyer could come in and just be able to put the furniture they already have without buying new things right away, or thinking they're going to have to get a painter in there before they move in. So we do go a little bit neutral as far as, and a little bit lighter for the interiors of existing homes.
Love it. Love it. And I see that in all the real estate photos. I've seen the transformations in my listings. And I mean, from what I see, something to be said about lighter colors is making people feel good, happy, clean. Everything feels fresh. And I absolutely agree. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here, not too much, but sometimes I have trouble explaining to sellers how much staging can impact a home versus selling a vacant home, right? So you walk into a vacant home, and some people say to me, Josh, should we keep this vacant because we feel like everybody can just kind of see what it is? And I know what my response is to that, but what is your overall response, and how have you seen that maybe impact pricing or condition, or just maybe you have some stats or thoughts on that, but let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a company or an organization called RESA. It's the Real Estate Staging Association, and they do stats on this a lot. And so they come out with new ones every year, but I believe it's 85% of people cannot visualize a home that is vacant. So a lot of times too, people don't know what even the rooms are used for, especially if you might have a formal dining room, where they might have a formal living room. So there's these empty spaces, and buyers really don't know how they would use that space and how they would live in that space. Especially if you have a flex room too, because right now flex rooms are definitely being used as home offices, which most of us can really appreciate right now. So something that could be used as a flex room for a home office might be more attractive to buyers than a dining room. But I do have a lot of stories, and one of them I'll just bring up was with a really well-known builder that I work with named Bob Snowden. And he had two houses actually, one in Railside and one in Planners Row over in Byron Center, both the same exact layout, and both of them were vacant and they were not selling. And what people were saying is they thought the dining room was too small, and they thought the master bedroom was too small, or owner's bedroom. And so he said, I need to get some furniture in here to show people that this will fit 6 people around this table in this dining room. And I need to show people that a king size bed will fit in this owner's bedroom. So sure enough, we staged both of those properties. And even though they had been listed for several months prior to this, unstaged, once we staged them with furniture and people could see how large the space actually was and what type of furniture it could accommodate, both of those houses sold very quickly. So ever since then, he's been using me to stage parade homes and other spec homes that he does, because he realized the value of it, especially for helping buyers envision this space.
No, that's amazing. And that is so true, because when I walk through new construction opportunities, even when they're in the framing stage, right? You would think that that's when a home feels spacious and big and people can visualize, but often people feel like it's smaller because they can't visualize the furniture or the wall space, and they have a really hard time with that. And I often tell people, once you actually have the drywall in and the furniture in, it's going to feel more spacious, and that space is going to make more sense. So I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So I want to close this out with one last question, because not only do you help a lot of real estate professionals, sellers prep, but you've also helped me with some properties that I own that I'm not going to be selling. And you helped me decide on an exterior paint color, which I have a historical home that I was like, I don't even know where to go with this. And I got to get it right, because you only got one shot for about 10, 15 years, right? Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about what you do for somebody that maybe isn't interested in selling from a design and just overall health purposes.
Yeah, so what happened is kind of organically, when people went into the houses that I had staged, a lot of times they were either buying that house or they were looking to buy another house. And so then they'd say, wow, well, can you come help me decorate once I move in? Or can you help me with picking paint colors when I move in? Or if they were doing new construction, they wanted help with that. So I do offer other design services aside from staging. I do paint consultations, like you mentioned, for interiors and exteriors. I also can help people with furnishing their homes. So on my website, I have options for what's called design in a day services, where we kind of go into a space. If somebody's redoing their living room, we're going to make a full shopping list of what we need for the space, and then we can go out together and shop for those items. Or I can also do what's called interior design with Pinterest board option, where I see the space, I do measuring, I find out what the client's needs are, and then I send them over a Pinterest board with everything that they would like to use in that space. So I offer that. And then I also offer, kind of from my background, I do flip assist options for investors if they're investing in a property and they're going to be redoing like countertops, tile, cabinetry, or even just paint colors. I have options for that as well on my website.
Awesome. I love it. And I thank you so much for coming in today. I think everybody's going to love this conversation. It's such a hot topic right now. And one of the podcasts we actually have coming up is how to navigate through a seller's market. And staging, like, in my opinion, is one of the most critical things to analyze in this type of market. So I think this is some really good content for people to listen to. And again, Natalie came in with at-home design and staging. We will leave the links below. Thank you so much, and keep enjoying living in Grand Rapids. We'll chat with you soon.